The Arab countries are lying to President Trump about the 20-point peace plan, and I swear I think he's falling for it. Here's what I mean. They make great speeches in English that he nods and loves, and then they go back to their own countries in Arabic and contradict everything about wiping out Israel and killing all the Jews. Is Trump falling for the BS? We have IDF Captain Yair Pinto here. Listen to what he has to say. Well, you hinted about the talking points coming out of Qatar, and I would mention from the mouth of the dictator in Turkey, Erdogan. It's really amazing to me that Qatar talks to President Trump in English, and it's published here in the U.S. as though we in Qatar were like this, and then major spokespeople for Qatar, including their own captive network, Al Jazeera, in Arabic, publish, and I mean last week, incredibly ferocious anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Jewish speeches about the annihilation of the Jews and the annihilation of the Jewish state. Of course, it receives virtually no press here because it's in Arabic, but I get the translations. And at the same time, Erdogan just last week was calling for the annihilation of Israel to Turkish media. I can totally understand why Israel doesn't want any Turkish personnel on the ground in Gaza, nor do they want Turkey to be involved, because they're still calling for the annihilation of Israel. And if from the perspective of Erdogan, he has a very, very strong anti-him movement within Turkey. And so he's playing the game of distracting his citizens with, let's all unite against the common enemy of Israel, even though Israel has never done anything at all, ever, aggressive against either him or his country. Do you see the contradiction there, that they're supposed to be part and parcel of this peace plan that they've signed on, and yet they're still calling for the death of Israel?
Yeah, I see that. And it's very sad that Arab nations are saying something in Arabic and then a completely different thing in English when they're speaking to the United States and to the West. I'm familiar with that also with the Palestinian Authority, the Palestinian Authority president, Mahmoud Abbas. Every time they say something in English and then a different thing completely in Arabic to their own people. And sadly, the mainstream media of the West are buying into all of these propaganda messages and falling in the trap of believing that these terrorists have changed and they will honor their word. And a terrorist leader of Al-Qaeda is now the president of Syria. And just because he's wearing a suit, then he's not a terrorist anymore. And we should talk with him. We should remove the sanctions and start agreeing on a joint future. So it's sad, but this is the situation, and people need to understand that in the Middle East, you must be strong, and that's the only way to achieve peace. Peace is done with the strong party in the Middle East, and that's why I believe, on the positive side of everything, is that this is the time for cooperation agreements with Israel and its Arab neighbors, because Israel has never been stronger than it is right now. We have our troops as trained as they're ever. I think everybody above the age of 18 is more comfortable with a rifle and with the military equipment than he's ever been, because the entire country has been mobilized to defend the borders of Israel and the citizens for more than 2 years. And more than that, we've proven that our technological abilities are stronger than those of our enemies, especially with the 12-day war against Iran, dismantling their nuclear facilities. So this is the time to make agreements with the Arab countries that do not seek to destroy us openly, which is basically Lebanon, potentially can be Syria, on, I would say, just a security cooperation agreement that we need to be very, very careful of the implementation of it. As long as we have our own troops defending our borders, we'll be safe. But we cannot trust any other international force to do it for us.